Now, Marc Thiessen, an American Enterprise Institute scholar and Fox News contributor. Marc, good evening. Good to have you with us. He gave sort of a knowing nod, as he said, there's a special place in hell, because obviously it's a phrase that's used, but it was a phrase that was used by Ivanka Trump. And she said there's a special place in hell for people who prey on children.
Yeah, that's quite remarkable that he would take that shot at the president's daughter. I don't know that Donald Trump would appreciate that. But there is also a special place in hell for Republican leaders who should know better than to back an alleged sex predator for the United States Senate. And that is what Steve Bannon has foisted on the people of Alabama. I mean, pity the poor people of Alabama who have been going into the voting booth today with the horrible choice, because this is one of the most pro-life states in the country, of choosing between a radical pro-abortion Democrat who basically supports abortion on demand and a person who has been credibly accused of molesting teenage girls. No voter should ever have to face that decision, but because of Steve Bannon and the alt-right movement, they're stuck with that choice, and he should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah, I mean, well, Steve Bannon helped him get through the primary, clearly. I think the Roy Moore folks would say he came in late to the game, but he did help him get through the primary because President Trump backed Luther Strange and wanted him to win. And when he didn't, that was when he kind of, sort of was forced to kind of warm up to the Roy Moore idea, and he wants him to help him push his agenda through. So this will be a referendum on a number of things. Sexual harassment charges, whether or not you can push back against them and win, is going to be one thing we're going to learn. And also on Steve Bannon and whether or not his involvement in these races is a plus or a minus.
Well, it's clearly a minus. And look, Steve Bannon is trying to replicate this across the country. He's threatened every single Republican incumbent except for Ted Cruz with similar primary challenges. And so, what we're doing basically here is we are replicating. I don't know how it's going to come out, but if let's say Doug Jones wins and Steve Bannon accomplishes the great feat of getting a Democrat elected in the state of Alabama, we're replicating 2010 when you had winnable Senate races in places like. Well, if Roy Moore wins, then it's an interesting situation. So, like in the United States Senate, he's going to be seated. He's going to be sworn into office. He's going to assume all the committee positions that Jeff Sessions and Luther Strange had before him. He's going to be on the Armed Services Committee, the Budget Committee, the Energy Committee, the Ag Committee, and he's going to have influence.
But Mark, that's what if he wins, that's what the voters in Alabama want.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality that Republicans are going to have to face. They don't have to have lunch with him. They don't have to co-sponsor legislation with him, but he's going to have influence.
Thank you very much, Marc Thiessen. Always good to see you. Alabama polls set to close.